Hello YouTube, it's your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be discussing the 13th episode of Season 4 of Ozark, the second to last one. Obviously the finale is still to come. We'll probably give you guys like a special little video on Friday. After this show, I don't think I'm going to be doing any more until like summer, because I think every night I'm just going to be covering the NBA, because I really like watching basketball right now. It's really entertaining this year. So yeah, we're just going to have one big discussion on this show. We're going to talk about how what is right. So, let's go. I mean, the penultimate episode of Ozark felt like it inherently had to feature at least one character death, right? There's no way everyone is getting out of this show alive. And yet the first body to fall is a bit unexpected, and the show took a pretty crazy left turn here. It appears for a few scenes like it might be Rachel or Ruth. Fuck, man. I couldn't even imagine if one of those two died right now. But it ends up being Nelson, the assassin for the Navarro cartel, gunned down by Rachel herself. I mean, now what? It's kind of fucking crazy that Rachel killed an assassin. I was thinking about that in my head. It doesn't really sound plausible, but the show just took a crazy turn, so I guess I'm down for it. Up until that unexpected final scene, Mud is mostly about Wendy's mental breakdown. After losing her kids to her awful father last episode, Wendy has snapped. She's completely lost it. She's plotting on, she's scheming. She's thinking about killing this guy. Midway through the episode, Twilight's on by Golden Earring plays. And a lyric speaks to Wendy's situation here. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? Wendy has exercised every option to save her family, and now she's got nowhere left to go. She has to accept what's coming. Where does she go first? Where does she go first? The Central Ozarks Behavioral Health Center. She's muttering to herself and knows she needs some serious psychological help. And it's really kind of crazy. I don't think a crazy person would know they needed help or have the self-awareness to go to a health center. I think she's just either doing it for attention, or I don't know what the fuck else she'd be doing it for. She has the cash and needs to be committed for the night, but it turns out that she can't buy her way into the facility because they're already over capacity. Privileged Wendy Bird thinks she can get service immediately, but she just gets a list of therapists. Obviously, that enrages her. Meanwhile, Ruth gets her Elon Musk on with a hostile takeover of the Missouri Belle, shocking Marty with another unexpected move. She inherited Darlene's shares and got her name on the license. Ruth is in peacock mode, showing off to Marty, with Rachel serving as her hype man. But Marty knows how dangerous this all is. You gotta remember, they're doing this shit for Navarro. It's not like, oh, I want this to be my business, I want to be rich. No, they have a service to take on. The Navarros could have them all killed for messing with their business. Ruth doesn't seem to care. Will this be her downfall? Underestimating the danger that Marty has really kept from her all this time, is that gonna be the death of her? So Marty has to go to prison and tell Omar and Camilla what's up with his kids and cash flow. Omar insists they use the Belle to launder money, but Marty knows they can't know. He tells Omar it won't be a problem. It definitely will be. Jim calls with good news for Wendy. They got Mary Schuler, CEO of AFL-CIO, on their side. Wendy gets this news while marching through a cemetery to collect one of their stash bags of cash. She goes and pounds on Nathan's door, dropping the bag on the bed. It's $2 million. He doesn't seem persuaded. Then she spots a shoebox of booze, and Lenny perfectly captures that moment when the shark like Wendy smells blood in the water. She goes in on him for falling off the wagon, being a cheater, not being a real Christian. She implores him to take the life-changing money and run, but he doesn't budge. He wants to take the kids. Again, he's a Christian. Whatever. He can't budge. He can't give in to shit like this. And then Wendy drops her final card. I will kill you before I let you take my kids. Nathan should probably believe her. After all, she had been killed, and she loved him a great deal more than Nathan. Marty begs Ruth and his children in subsequent scenes. First, he tries to convince Ruth to give up the Belle play. Ruth attests that she needs to keep her clean record and doesn't give in. The Birds are facing opponents who are no longer convinced by their arguments, and Marty can no longer put out the fires, the bridges Wendy has burned. Wendy won't make the smart move and let Marty use her foundation fundraiser to launder the money. Her clean record matters more than anything. And so she insists they can smurf the money through the bell with bad gamblers, even though Marty says it's too much. Wendy is in danger mode. She's operating in the red zone and is making mistakes that will likely get someone killed. Part of the problem is everyone is done with her shit. Even Rachel says, I got no use for you. A rogue Wendy is a pretty dangerous Wendy, someone who has nowhere else to go. I mean, I don't know what the fuck she's gonna do on this show, but she can't be up to any good, you know. And that danger comes to life when Nelson puts a gun to Rachel's head. He threatens her and insists they run the money through the bell. Rachel probably wishes she was still in Miami at this point, like, yeah, she's gonna be making some bread, but holy fucking shit. The drug cartel hitman just threatened her life. She confronts Marty the next day. He swears he didn't know, but begs again to do this one last laundering operation. He didn't do it. Wendy did this. It will be the last time he asks anything of Ruth and Rachel. He tries to call Wendy, but she's not answering. The birds are all disconnected now. Wendy goes back to the hospital, but doesn't go in. She has another crazy idea. Is this Wendy's final play? She fights with Marty about the bell versus the foundation and reveals her plan. Give it all to Camilla. Tell her everything. You know, turn her into the new FBI patsy. Make her an offer to maintain power, kill her brother, and keep it all. It's an incredibly risky move that relies on Camilla not just turning around and killing them on the spot. While Camilla thinks Omar had Javi killed, what if she's uncertain about that? Marty lets it unfold. They let Camilla in on everything, and she looks unsure about what to do next. What makes you think I won't kill you, she asks. The birds offer her power and a license from the government to keep it, and the ability to stay behind the scenes. Everything and nothing at once. It's a good offer, and Camilla appears to take it, but she wants to see Omar one last time. That could be a problem. Alone with her brother, they share memories of their youth. He swears she didn't have Javi killed, and she looks at him long and hard. She asks who told Omar about Javi, and it was Wendy. Of course. Omar is convinced Wendy knows more than she's letting on, and he's determined to look into it. Things are getting scary for the birds. If Camilla doesn't believe that Omar killed her son, then she won't be able to have Omar taken out. Isn't there another option here that Marty and Wendy could take? Tell Camilla who actually killed Javi. She wouldn't agree to Omar's murder, but he could stay behind bars, and she could run the operation with the FBI. Of course that gets Ruth killed, but, you know, the birds don't really have a lot to do at this point. They don't have a lot of options if they want to keep their empire afloat. So Father Benitez comes to talk to Wendy. Omar wants to see her, but first, a little chat. He speaks of violence in youth and how his father hit him and his mother. I've forgiven him, of course, he said. Can Wendy forgive her father and the violent people around her? Can she forgive herself? Benitez says there was a time when it was either kill the man or join the church. This gives Wendy an idea. She goes back to the hospital and insists that she will kill her father if they don't commit her. It works. She tells Marty that she won't leave until she gets her kids back. I mean, she might honestly be going insane. I don't know. But in the episode's climax, Ruth is driving late at night in the rain when a car follows her. And an Escalade, we know it's Nelson. Parking at the police station, she marches towards the killer and flips him off in the rain. She goes into the station and tells Wyckoff everything she knows about Javi's murder, including that she killed Javi and that Javi killed Wyatt and Darlene. She just spews everything. She confesses. If Wyckoff tells anyone, who would believe him, you know? But it should get the innocent guy out of jail, right? When she goes outside, Nelson is gone, but this worries Ruth even more. She panics, and calls Rachel, who is busy watching Duck Dynasty. She finally gets a hold of her BFF, warns her that Nelson is coming, and talks her through getting on the roof of the rifle and shooting Nelson as he gets out of the car. The first shot wounds him, the second appears to kill him. Now what? Will they send another Nelson? Rachel and Ruth will find out soon. And yeah. That's pretty much all there is to it. I guess we can discuss some things in the background. I mean, the little sound touches and the design and stuff are underrated in the show. I mean, when Benitez is knocking on Wendy's door, there's the sound of thunder rumbling in the distance, which both adds to a foreboding sense that a storm is coming for these characters and forecasts a downpour in the final scenes, which is really cool. I do too have a sense of humor, says Wendy, perhaps the least humorous character in television history. Wendy says they're going to smurf the money through the bell. Interestingly enough, that's a real term. And who's going to make it out of Ozark alive? We'll have to figure that out in the last episode. Rachel has long felt like an expendable character, but the writers turned that around this episode. The birds all likely survive. Is anyone else worried about Ruth? Because I fucking am. I don't know. But I'm out, guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I really appreciate your guys' love on the NBA videos. These are just kind of the casual content stuff for the week, if you guys are tuning in for my NBA videos. Once a week, I'll give you guys edited videos, though, so I'm out, guys.